Hey guys, so I have some really interesting information to talk about. You may or may not have already seen JJJU on Twitter hinting towards that Phantom Phase 4 is not the last phase and that the outside part of the Phantom Room is currently locked for a reason, and possibly also hinting towards another DLC is coming up for Battlefield 4. First of all, I'm going to show you this image from JJJU's Twitter page. He said those that have seen the door at the back of the room, you can't open it currently in PP4, which is Phantom Phase 4. I don't know about you guys, but when I read that, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say there will in fact be a Phantom Phase 5, hopefully sooner than later, but we'll see what happens. He also replied to another tweet saying, "End of round, I don't think you're done yet," which once again is suggesting the whole Phantom program is not over. After that, he said, "By the round, I mean Phantom Phase 4 completed." So it's kind of hard to tell, but it seems like not only will it be a Phantom Phase 5, but possibly there might be a second part to Phase 4. So normally if there's another Phantom Phase, it means there must be another DLC because all the Phantom assignments are bundled within a DLC. This makes sense because the premium calendar recently has been extended until December 2015, which I never thought would ever happen, but I'm glad it has, to be honest, because the next major Battlefield game is rumored to be released on October 2016. If we don't end up with another DLC, we might just see assignments being added to the game without bundled within a DLC. A DICE member on Reddit called DarkLord7854 said, "Usually we ship new content in a DLC pack, but it's entirely possible to add new assignments or anything really without another DLC. So either way, all we know for sure is that the Phantom program isn't over and will continue in another DLC or assignment being added into the game on its own." Also, some people seem to think that if Phantom Phase 4 is real, we might be able to trigger a test flight of the Titan ship. Seen as you can see it on the board here within the Phantom Room, there's a Titan ship flying upwards out of the hangar but still wide to the ground as a kind of anchor of some kind. This would be really damn cool, seeing as the entire DLC is meant to be based around the time pre-Battlefield 2142. So seeing the very first test flight of the Titan ship in-game would be amazing to watch. An event like this I imagine would need a lot of work, so not entirely sure having an event like this is possible. But then again, if we have a look at some of the big Levolution events, like for example Parasol Storm, we have a giant ship crashing into the beach, so I'm pretty sure big events like this are entirely possible. And in terms of the 6th DLC that's been rumoured for a long time, there's been a lot of hints over the past couple of months that DICE LA are going to release another DLC that will include fan favourite maps from previous Battlefield games, which I really hope is the case. I would love to see No Shark Canals in Battlefield 4. Can you imagine some of the old maps remastered within the Frostbite 3 engine? That's a DLC I would happily pay for, especially if every map is all the best maps we all love. I know people agree we don't need any more weapons in the game, but I would love to see some fan favourite weapons from Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2 being added into the game, but I'm not that fussed about it, to be honest. I would rather more maps added into the game. Also, during the ESL 1 event that recently took place, David Sterling, the main dev for the community test environment, he talked about new prototypes and maybe there might be more content coming. I read some people taking this as he's referring to an entire DLC, which I don't think that's what he was talking about. It seems like he was just referring to CTE and the prototype patches and maybe some new content for the CTE client to be tested out and eventually released for retail BF4. Like for example, recently the new competitive game mode was added called Double Assault, which I still haven't made a proper video about dedicated to that. That's something I want to do for you guys soon, but for anyone that doesn't know, this game mode is aiming to bring the competitive scene to Battlefield 4, seeing as a lot of other first-person shooter games have a fairly strong competitive scene. I briefly overviewed this in one of my earlier CTE videos, but in case you didn't watch it, the game mode is based around a variant of Conquest, and at the moment it only allows 5 versus 5, but 8v8 and even 1v1 might come in later. But this brings on a question of, is major content like this, will it be bundled within a DLC? Or will there be another giant patch like the fall patch that came out a while ago? At the moment it's too hard to tell, but seeing as the premium calendar is extended for another whole year, I imagine we're going to see a lot of new content for Battlefield 4. Also, I want to talk about a few things before I finish the video. There's a Unica 6 reload animation Easter egg that was recently found. Apparently it was added with the Final Stand DLC a while ago and is also extremely rare to see. There's no special requirements. All you need to do is use the Unica 6 as you normally would, and hopefully the next reload you'll get to see a completely different reload animation. There's a video showing off this Easter egg. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see it for yourself. So Australian players out there, I'm running a Final Stand TDM server. At the moment it's just 20 slots, but I want to increase it later on. I'm only keeping it on the normal preset because one thing I noticed, every damn Australian TDM server is pretty much running it on hardcore. So I thought I'll make one with the normal preset. If you'd like to join, I'll put the battle log link in the description. So like I said in my past couple of videos, I want to try and do a CTA video showing you the competitive game mode, but at the moment not many people are even playing on it. In fact, there's hardly anyone on the CTA servers, or at least when I try. So I hope sometime this week I can get some good gameplay of the competitive matchmaking game mode. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts about the possibility of another Phantom phase and another DLC. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.